having top forward, I believe, Star City Cincinnati last year, all on the back of Death and Taxes. He is another one of our international players. He is here from He is Danish, I believe. He's here from Denmark, traveling for the SCG Invitational. He's playing against Dave Shiels. Dave Shiels is one of our other undefeated players. He has 6 wins and 1 draw at the moment. Thomas Enevoldson is sitting at 6-1. So, looking at our board for right now, Dave Shiels is on the popular Deathblade, which is a powerful deck, but as we've seen from Enevoldson in his past events, this is actually a matchup where Death and Taxes can be pretty comfortable.
I haven't seen Death and Taxes in a while. I know that Cedric had said that Thomas was playing this deck, but it's one of those decks that it's just such a weird little deck.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas is pretty much the only person who plays this deck, but like I said, he's played it to great success in the last year.
You know, there are probably 6 players out there watching who are saying, no, I play Death and Taxes.
I play Death and Taxes too. Yeah, I would say, how about this? He is a flag bearer of the deck.
There we go, I like that, a flag bearer.
Yes, you have to target him when he plays the deck.
Mother of Runes in play. Were you there when we saw Mother of Runes create a wall earlier today?
Yeah, the triple Mother of Runes board. Just one right now, and it's being joined, and this is like one of my favorite parts about Death and Taxes, it's being joined by Mirren Crusader. It's like, oh, okay. It has a lot of protection from Deathrite Shaman.
I have not seen a Mirren Crusader in play in Legacy ever.
Who grabs the deck list?
Ever.
What is going on
I was just
here?
curious how many there were. That's exciting.
It's 3, right?
Yeah, there are 3
there.
there.
Mirren Crusaders. No, not just... We are into this Mirren Crusader. And what I like about Enevolson's list is that he has so many strange cards. So he has 3 Mirren Crusaders. He has 4 Phyrexian Revokers. His creatures are all just really, like, small value creatures. That just... I mean, it's a white weenie deck.
Preordain from Dave Shiels. Preordain sees Brainstorm and Stoneforge Mystic, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He's going to go ahead.
Those are 2 good cards.
Yeah. Remember, both these decks are Stoneforge Mystic decks. A GT and a Batterskull on Enevoldson side, and I'm assuming the same on Shiels. In the main, at least.
Shiels has 1 GT, 1 Batterskull.
Now,
in the sideboard, 1 sort of Feast and Famine.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw something out here. If I were to say that Enevoldson has a trump in his Stoneforge Mystic right now, what card would you probably, out of his board, what card would you probably be guessing?
Manriki Gusari?
Yes, he has one of those in his sideboard. right out of Kamigawa block constructed. He has the Chain Whip to go ahead and take care of any Stoneforge Mystic mirrors.
You know, it's fair. It's fair.
No, I mean, it was... I remember plenty of Manriki Gusaris have blown up Umezawa's GTs. That is certainly nothing new.
And we get to the untap step. Thomas, you're going to have to say this one. I can't...
Enevoldson. Starts with
Enevoldson. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I guess he's not untapping. We have a pause. It looked like he was about to untap, but Dave was like, hang on a second. Casts the Umezawa's GT. In with so many spirits.
Yeah, the GT is actually still in his hand, and Enevoldson is going to revoke what is presumably the GT.
He might have revoked... No, there's only 1 man. Yeah, he might have revoked the Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah. No, it was on GT, actually.
It was on GT?
Yeah.
Okay. Confirmed on GT. We see the lands that we have there. Castle, Iganju, Wasteland, Caracas.
All right, so and then Thomas is going to start his attacking. We have Mirren Crusader heading in. Remember, cannot be blocked by Deathrite Shaman. We have somewhat of a race happening at the moment.
Take 4. Double strike.
Remember, Enevoldson has a Batterskull in hand and two Swords to Plowshares, so he has some sources of life gain that he can start to use if he believes he's on the wrong side of this race.
And Thomas Swords to Plowshares, the Deathrite Shaman.
And Shiels still with those cards, still with those Lingering Souls tokens, just chipping away. Interesting enough, he's on a little bit of a different build of Deathblade than I believe the Roanoke players are on. I don't believe any of them are on Lingering Souls in their Esper decks, but Shiels appears to still be playing them.
I mean, he might be talking to Thomas Martell,
right?
Amongst others.
Right, the deck that had won the Grand Prix in Indianapolis.
And we see Batterskull and the Umezawa's GT. The GT is only dead for as long as that Phyrexian Revoker is in play, which is not something that you can say will be forever.
Right. I actually think looks right now that Shiels has a lot of pretty good ways to race. He's currently ahead in the race on board, and with all this extra equipment, I think he feels like he's in an advantage situation.
I mean, I would rather be on Dave's side of the board right now, honestly.
Yeah, the Mother of Runes is not doing too much work. Enevoldson's just having trouble answering the 1/1 flyers.
I mean, if he has a Flicker Wisp in his hand, that could do a lot to change that. But
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
He's trying to decide, does the Stoneforge Mystic attack? I don't think he actually cares about it. I think he was just kind of throwing that in there as like a little, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is Mirran Crusader has protection from black, and Germ tokens are black. So Shiels actually does not have... He's actually just going to kind of take a lot of 4s off that Mirran Crusader.
We see Deathrite Shaman dropped. I think what he was doing there, I think by mimicking the effect of an attack, he's trying to communicate, hey, I don't even have a equipment in my hand.
Well, he outside of the G-Tag.
Well, we saw the Brainstorm, so the Brainstorm could put things anywhere.
Okay. I mean, Enevoldson has to assume the Brainstorm put the G-Tag away.
Right.
Like, why would it not?
Dave has a Batterskull in hand, and I think that he was just making a slight nudge, like, no equipment here.
Right.
And here it comes. In for 4, 2 double strike.
Enevolson's playing pretty much the only line he can play right now. He is behind in this one. Not entirely sure that it'll get him there, but it's pretty much the hand he's been dealt. He does have a Batterskull in hand, and
boom.
Now it's a Batterskull on the table. Interesting enough, Enevolson's Batterskull is a lot better than Shiels' Batterskull here, because Enevolson's Batterskull has double strike once it eventually finds its way onto a Mirran Crusader.
We see a fetch from Dave Shiels.
Yeah, so for those of you who played in the Cawblade era, Batterskull Wars are nothing new. Really, they have a tendency to make games last a lot longer than you'd initially think.
You know, when I saw a Batterskull, I just thought to myself, really? Really?
Yeah, so actually what I want to point out here, Enevoldson has Shields on a 1-turn clock. Equip to Mirran Crusader, give Mirran Crusader protection from white, swing 12, which is conveniently Shields' life total. Shields will probably drop his own Batterskull to make that not the case. But, well, actually that wouldn't even matter. It can't attack because the Mother...
Well, he can move the skull onto a spirit.
Okay, he can move it onto a spirit, and that would work. All right.
That would take up all of his mana to equip it to a new creature, though.
Yeah, he still might have to do it. So we'll see how Shields chooses to play this.
Well, I mean, we can look at the table as well as Dave Shields can, so he can see that that's the threat coming at him.
Yeah, he probably sees that, hey, there's lethal coming at me. And yeah, so
he sees it.
Move it to a spirit token.
Now, the awesome thing about doing this...
And that's the 8 damage that he needs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom.
So closer than you might have thought at one point there. Mirran Crusader, a fairly good equipment wielder.
You know, I'm very curious. I'm not sure if we have done a deck tech with Thomas Enevoldson, Voldson. I'll try again. I don't know if we've done a deck tech with Thomas, but I would be curious to hear about Mirran Crusader and how it evolved into being in his deck. I mean, clearly, if he's choosing to play 3 of them, I mean, the one thing I do notice is he had a 4 written down on his deck list, and he scritched it out to make it a 3. So at the very last moment, he found that he only wanted to have 3 of them.
Right. And it'd be interesting. This is the list, like I said, he's been working on for a long time. This is not his first big success with the list.
Yeah. This is the 4th round of Legacy today. Tomorrow, of course, the 339 players, what's left of them that are able to advance, will repeat today, starting with Standard, 4 rounds of Standard, and then 4 rounds of Legacy. And we'll simultaneously have the Standard Open happening. So there's a lot more Magic tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what happens here because one of these players is going to be sitting at X1 and 1.
Yeah, so one thing I want to point out is, especially if you're looking at their decks, so what I really like about the fact that he plays Death and Taxes. So Enevoldson's at 6 and 1 right now, and to no one's surprise, he posted a 3-1 in Standard today, which means in Legacy he's so far undefeated in the event.
Yeah.
Shiels took his draw in Legacy today, so he did manage to go 4-0 with blue, white, red today in Standard, and now playing Deathblade in Legacy.
You know, looking at these lists, one of the things that I'm thinking of, and maybe it's because I've got Patrick Chapin on the brain. Patrick Chapin, who, as we announced earlier, has a new book out.
Yeah.
You should check out what you can of the new book, even buy it. StarCityGames.com/NLDG. That's next level DB. NLDB, next level deck building.
Exactly.
Patrick Chapin likes to call Mother of Runes the enemy.
All right, now why is Mother of Runes the enemy?
Because to Patrick Chapin, Legacy is all about being unfair, and Mother of Runes is the epitome of fair.
It's way too fair to be playing.
It doesn't feel fair when you see it in play.
Well, it's really good at messing up creature combat and removal spells in particular. That's the bigger thing, yeah. It messes up removal spells.
One of my favorite things about Mom just stands there some games and doesn't do anything.
Well, you don't actually tap the card.
Yeah, she just stands there and doesn't do anything, just looks stern and disapproving, and then they don't do stuff.
Well, that reminds me, it's like when people, it's one of those cards that actually you never use. It's like when people talk about Royal Assassin, you'd be like, well, Royal Assassin kills a lot of creatures. I'm like, no, Royal Assassin doesn't actually kill anything. People just stop attacking when it's in play. Mother of Runes doesn't actually prevent kill spells. They just don't play them anymore.
Except for when she does prevent them, because it's
because they have a second one.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what's so powerful about it, is just the crazy effect it has on boards. Like,
it's hard to kill without
stuff.
It's hard to kill it without 2-for-1ing yourself also. So we see it from Enevoldson, the turn 1 Ether Vial. Normally play that you see out of, Merfolk and Goblins. Well, Death and Taxes also with the 4 of Ether Vial in the deck.
Okay, Dave, fetch.
And so similar here to Goblins, and in some sense, the Aether Vial, Death and Taxes is a lower curve, so you might think it might not be as strong as you would normally think it to be. What it does do is it lets him play cards. He plays 4 Reach and Imports and 4 Wastelands. And boy, this deck, this key from Enevoldson was all about the Aether Vial.
Yeah, I see Mom, Umezawa's Jite,
and
Batterskull, and Mangara of Condor.
Yeah, so Mangara of Condor is a 1 of in the deck, or sorry, a 2 of in the deck. It's there to combo with Karakas for a removal engine.
If you have not seen it, what Mangara says is, there it is, tap, remove Mangara and target permanent from the game. Because of that colon's placement, where it's before the words remove, if you have any tricks, like a Flicker Wisp, or, for that matter, a Karakas, well, you don't have to remove Mangara from the game. It just does what it can do.
Right, and then Shiels reading the card, just to be certain on its abilities. Enevoldson takes the Aether Vial up to 1, and actually casts some other runes.
That's going to put him with 2 moms in just a moment.
Right, so one of the things Enevoldson would really... He's going to have some trouble getting those equipment into play. The Batterskull is a really awkward card in this hand. Unless he draws a Stoneforge Mystic, it will probably never come into play.
One thing I'm curious about, Dave just drew a Swords to Plowshares. Will he use swords on a mother, or will he cast Dark Confidant?
I almost think he's going to play the swords.
Boom!
It's not even close. This is the last chance you get to kill the Mother of Runes, and you take that chance when it's given to you.
One of the things that just speaks so highly of Mother of Runes, right? Well, that you would rather kill a Mother of Runes than cast a Dark Confidant.
Well, here's how I'd see it. Mother of Runes, we already said, killing it's almost always a 2-for-1, right? Well, you didn't get a card off that Dark Confidant, so in a certain way, it was just a 2-for-1.
Well, right. And now, Dave, he knew that Thomas had the other mom, but he did it anyway. It was that important. We see a Rishadan port letting Umezawa's Jite hit play.
Yeah, actually, that was a 3rd Mother of Runes, I believe. He thought seized the first one. His remaining hand is Batterskull and Mangara.
Did he thought seize the first one?
I believe he thought seized the first Mother of Runes. I think this is a 3rd one.
Can't quite see the graveyard to confirm what was thought seized.
All right.
We have a Deathrite Shaman. There is a fetch land in Dave Shiels' graveyard, so he does have access to 3 mana right now, not counting dropping a land.
Yeah, so he has the potential for 4. He has a Brainstorm and a fetch land. He can go digging for new things.
Well, let's find out what's in the hand.
Yep,
Mangara, and yeah, so there's a top-decked mom.
Top-decked 3rd Mother of Runes. And he's going to go ahead and take the Mangara just before Enevoldson is able to cast it. Enevoldson's really just playing with what's on the table. That Batterskull is pretty much going to stay in his hand for the rest of the game. Well, or until he finds a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep. Dave is sitting in pretty reasonable shape here. I think we're going to see Brainstorm, fetch land, sacrifice the land, and then drop Bob.
That is a pretty reasonable line. So let's see what he finds. He finds Supreme Verdict. He finds his own Batterskull. It might be a little too early for Batterskull. He may ship that one away. Well, he's actually somewhat close to casting it.
He's got actually a lot of mana as well.
So we'll see how he plays this. He has Creeping Target as well. It looks like he's going to put the card's going to put back. I imagine we'll see him put back the Supreme Verdict.
Lots of options here for Dave Shiels. He might look tapped out, but a fetch land and a or any land really, because he's got one in the yard already, and a Deathrite Shaman mean he can cast the Dark Confidant in his hand this turn.
So C, he's already said the Underground C is going to go away. That one makes sense. He has other lands in his hand, and it's the C and the Batterskull. He actually wants to keep the Supreme Verdict. That makes him Death and Taxes is such a creature-heavy deck that he may just, Supreme Verdict just may be a card that he always wants.
He's doing a little bit of reconsidering, thinking about pushing away
Tarpit.
He's going all different choices between 2 lands, between land Batterskull. Goes with, looks like, land Batterskull back?
Yep, looks like land Batterskull is what he's chosen. I like that play, by the way. I don't think he needs the Batterskull to win. I like he's keeping Supreme Verdict.
Wow, he's going for the slow play,
he actually
too.
likes, it seems like the only card he didn't like was the land, so he's just going to go ahead and draw the Batterskull. This doesn't mean he didn't get to have Bob down this turn, which is...
Well, I mean, he does have an Umezawa's Jitte on the other side of the table, so Mom could just pick up the Umezawa's Jitte, march on in,
right.
Kill the Bob. And actually, for that matter, potentially kill the Bob and the Deathrite Shaman.
So it's possible he's going to use the leverage he's gained from that Supreme Verdict to just stall the board here, and then cast a really nice Supreme Verdict. Enevoldson upkeep is going to reach and import a land. That will keep Shiels off of the Batterskull this next turn. So Shiels does draw that Batterskull.
Hand is land, Batterskull, Dark Confidant, Supreme Verdict. Marsh Flats comes down, and it looks like a Dark Confidant is going to come down.
All right. So now the question: whether or not Enevoldson will make that suicide attack just to get the Confidant off the board.
Enevoldson draws, doesn't look, gets that look there.
Wasteland, it looks like, not
1 mana shy of being able to cast, just
Batterskull.
Straight up cast Batterskull.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him waste anything here.
And
he's going to go ahead and equip the Jitte. He has to decide how he wants to do it. I don't think it really matters. Once he plays that land, the J's going to be up.
Is that okay? It is? Is it? Is it okay? Attack.
All right, so if Shiels has to, he's going to lose both his creatures.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how he blocks it. And this is a really good trade for Enevoldson, just showcasing the power of Umezawa's Jitte.
He's like, yep, my mom's dead. Let's finish off that guy.
See if he wants to get anything. Death and Taxes is one of those really infuriating decks to play against. You feel like you should just be beating it because all its cards, you're like, what are you playing? But then you play against it and you're like, wait, I'm losing. How is this happening? I wouldn't say Shiels is losing here, but Enevoldson's putting up a heck of a fight.
I mean, think about a powerful hand that Dave Shiels was portraying earlier.
Right, and now he's 1 land away from Enevoldson just casting that Batterskull, and Shiels actually being in a pretty difficult position. There'll be a war of the Batterskulls, but 1 Batterskull will have a Jitte on it.
Upkeep, I think we're going to see a Rishadan Port on the Creeping Tar Pit. Or perhaps the Tundra. One of the 2. He goes for the Tar Pit.
All right. Doing port on Creeping Tar Pit, and Shiels, remember, he knows the top card of his deck is Underground Sea. The question is whether he wants the 5th land or not. He's deciding no, he'll top deck that land soon enough anyway. It's more important to get a threat down.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here in the booth with Matthias Hunt. This is SCG Live, the StarCityGames.com Open Series featuring the Invitational. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at SCG Live. Now, if you were also watching that conversation on hashtag SCGINVI, you would already know that Chris Van Meter is 7-1 after day 1.
Yeah, so Chris Van Meter is going to join Ross Miriam and one of these players in the group of players with just 1 loss. We'll have the standings posted at the end of the day. We'll check in on our leaderboard after this round.
Wasteland drawn by Dave Shiels. That has to look very tempting.
Yeah, I mean, right now Shiels can't beat the 5th land. So Interesting enough, all
Oh,
right,
wow.
he's going for it. That surprises me. I would have thought we'd see a Wasteland there. And number 4, Mother Rune's number 4 hits the board.
Wow.
It's really good right now.
That is really, really good right now. Mom picks up a Jite. Well, maybe. She's thinking about it.
Now, Enevoldson does not have the benefit of knowing that Shiels knows about Enevoldson's Batterskull. Enevoldson does not know about Shiels' Batterskull. If he did, we probably would see him Wasteland something right now.
Okay, he says go. And now Enevoldson, he says go.
All right, and 6th land drawn by Shiels.
Yep.
That is actually not bad here. It gives him the luxury to use that Wasteland to try to keep Enevoldson off the Batterskull.
I think we're going to see that exact situation where Dave Shiels is going to drop a Batterskull and then Wasteland Thomas Enevoldson. Perhaps the Rishadan port. The Rishadan port in this situation.
Yeah, right, so thumbs up. All right, Batterskull resolves. He's passing the turn. Go ahead and
I just don't know. I would not want to be in the situation that Dave Shiels is in right now.
Shiels is a pretty strong player. You've got to assume he has a plan here. So I'm shocked that Wasteland didn't happen. So how is he going to get through it? We'll see. He was clearly okay with that line happening.
You see a Lingering Souls drawn by Dave Shiels.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Dave Shiels' cards are pretty good right here. The problem is that he needs to have an answer to, Germ with Batterskull and Jite on it, which I don't see one in his hand at the moment.
Dave, is he going to cast Lingering Souls? Looks like he's casting Supreme Verdict.
Yep, so he's going to have to Verdict here. So he does kind of get a do-over. He can Verdict and then Wasteland Enevoldson when he so maybe he's just doing this so that he can buy more time. Yeah. And you can try to Wasteland on the way back down.
That's fair.
And win with Lingering Souls in the meantime. I think that he may have enough damage to actually pull that off too. He's shaking his head a little bit. I think a little frustrated at the line he's taken.
I mean, one of the things about this game is I've seen some of the best players in the world make mistakes.
Yeah. Especially when you're playing a matchup against a deck like Death and Taxes, that, Shiels probably has maybe 10 games of this matchup in ever, whereas Enevoldson...
That would be surprising to me if he had that much.
Whereas Enevoldson probably has 50 games of this matchup easy under his belt, because he's playing the strange deck, that gives Enevoldson a really strong advantage.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, to be fair, this is... When I say I've seen some of the strongest players in the world make mistakes, that's implying Dave did. It's not clear that Dave made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now he's unhappy with the situation, which is why I'm leaning to say that, but not because, there's nothing particularly that I really disagree with that he's done. But
he's drawn a Dark Confidant. It's a pretty good draw. Dark Confidant and Lingering Souls in Dave's hand.
Right, so he's going to need to get aggressive here because he doesn't have the inevitability. There's that Batterskull, which will recreate a Germ and put a Jite on it, and once Enevoldson, assembles like that Voltron combo of one guy with a lot of equipment on it, then Shiels doesn't actually have an answer for it.
He lays Bob and Lingering Souls. I like it. Good play. We see the return of Batterskull to hand.
We draw yet another land by Enevoldson. Shiels has no way to use Wasteland to keep him off Batterskull, so he's really not going to. That land does let Enevoldson play and equip the Jite this turn, though. Play the Batterskull and equip the Jite this turn. And I don't see how. I mean,
Dave can put a Batterskull onto his Dark Confidant if, with this line now, Dave can equip the Confidant.
Right, he can equip the Confidant.
And that'll at least do a fair amount.
And that does a lot of work. That's a lot of time that just bought Shiels.
That Swords to Plowshares that was brought to his hand can remove that Germ lickety-split.
Yeah, and that in conjunction with the Wasteland means that even if Enevoldson top decks a land, he will not be able to recast the Batterskull this turn.
Gain 4 life,
so
and then he's going to be able to equip the Batterskull and Wasteland, because he does have a land in his hand he's drawn as well. Yeah, if I were Dave, drop it down, do it.
He's debating whether or not to hang on to the fetch land, I think, to get value off it, or whether to go for the Wasteland this turn. I think he's decided that he's going that he's gonna go the other way. He's gonna go ahead and just keep the fetch side, the fetch land for value. This will come back to bite him if Thomas draws an 8th land.
That's 8 damage there. Gains 5 life for Dave Shiels.
Right.
And Dave lays the land afterwards.
That's interesting. Okay. Dave really just seemed... What's telling me here is that Dave values his lands. He thinks his lands are more important than Thomas's lands. So he just doesn't want wastelands to happen.
Thomas here draws a card, very skillfully hides it from us. He's got 21 seconds on the clock. I don't know if that clock is 100% accurate. It might well be. It might not be. We'll find out as soon as we get an opportunity whether that is the actual clock or if we're a little bit behind because they were given more time.
All right, Enevoldson passes. So this may be this could be a turn 0 right here. Okay, so now we have updated time right now.
The accurate time now set. 1 minute remains in this game. We see a Rishadan Port taps the Creeping Tar Pit. Bob says land, and Dave draws another land.
All right. At some point, we're going to see we're going to have to see this wasteland come out on Caracas. Caracas is probably the most valuable land of Enevoldson at this point. The question is, can Shiels right now? It's going to take him 3 attacks to end the game. Well, he can flashback Lingering Souls and represent a 2-turn clock. And I believe that should be enough. It does look like he has a 2-turn swing right here, right? If he swings this turn, flashbacks Lingering Souls, he should be able to swing for lethal before Enevoldson resets and attacks with a Batterskull.
Here comes the attack. He drops to 9.
So Enevoldson looks like he might get his first loss of Legacy in Legacy of the day. Can Shiels be our second undefeated player for day 1?
Both these players sitting at 6-0-1 right now. Pardon me, Dave is playing at 6-0-1. Enevoldson is playing at 6-1.
Right.
With his 1 loss in Standard earlier today. We see that flashback you talked about. Now he's picked up the Wasteland.
Yeah, well, he's representing the lethal swing next turn. The question is whether or not Enevoldson's going to be able to draw a way out of it. There are not too many ways which he can do it. He would need, to find some way to get life gain right away. I guess he could draw a Fiend Hunter for the Dark Confidant, and that would work.
And we see the return of the Batterskull.
Yeah, so... And it looks like that die there is representing the turn
There
number
it is. That is the turn clock. 1 is the turn number we're on.
And we see a Rishadan Port drawn by Enevoldson. That's not going to help him, at least with this onslaught of creatures. You know, right now, Shiels is representing... he's representing 10 damage. Enevoldson's at 9, so he's going to have to at least remove the Dark Confidant.
We need to see something very impressive from Thomas in order to be able to take this out. Like, what does he have in the sideboard? Does he have anything that'll get him out of this within the time that he has left?
Leonin Relic Warder would do it, which he is playing. Manriki Gasari. He doesn't have a creature to equip Manriki Gasari to, so that actually wouldn't do it. And we see Cataclysm.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right. So, for those of you who don't know right away what Cataclysm does, I like his style. It's excellent.
Cataclysm, white, 2, sorcery. You choose 1 enchantment, 1 creature, 1 artifact, 1 land, sacrifice everything else.
All right. That actually only buys him 1 turn, which may not be enough.
And he packs it up, packs it in. Nope, just picks up the Cataclysm stuff.
Yep. It looks like Enevoldson will keep, well, the Batterskull and the creature that Batterskull just happens to be attached to right now. So it's actually a 2-turn clock. Dave can attack on turn 2 and turn 4 to do 10 damage, but all Enevoldson's going to need is 1 chump blocker, and then he's fine. He actually makes his second land there too. So if he draws a creature, he'll manage to draw the game.
There's like Swords to Plowshares that can do it. There's Flicker Wisp.
He's just not draw land.
There's Aven Mind Sensor will do it.
Cataclysm is a 2-of out of his sideboard.
That's exciting. I love Legacy is the greatest. I don't know why people don't just love Legacy. This is so awesome. Tap that. Oh, wait. Activate Aether Vial.
End step, activate Aether Vial on 3.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And that's going to take away Dave's ability to win the game here on turn, what I believe is turn 5. Actually, this game continues. I'm not even sure Shiels is a favorite anymore. Enevoldson with the pivotal on the pivotal
wow.
turn, he cataclysms away Dave's board, hits the Flicker Wisp to get rid of the Germ token, makes Mirroring Crusader. I actually think Enevolson's ahead right now, but this game's gonna gonna be a draw, as this is turn 5 of extra turns. And he hits for three, down to 27, just with all the hits.
Jeez, did you see the way that Dave Shiels tossed his Germ to the side?
It was disgusting. I just thought the old should have seen Cataclysm coming. Just what that was.
Thomas is kind of happy to get out of here with that draw.
So Enevoldson ends today at 6-1-1.
Oh, look at Dave! He looks like he got hit by somebody in the face.
I mean, how upset can you be that that you got cataclysmed? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Dave Shiels, while still technically undefeated on the day, you can say at the end of the day he went undefeated and double drew today, which normally happens on day 2 instead of day 1. But
wow.
The match ends in game 3.
In a draw. You know what's funny too? A lot of people say things like, you know what? I just can't get into Legacy. I can't build a deck. It's too hard to find the cards. I mean, Thomas Enevoldson has a deck I bet you could build without too much difficulty.
Yeah. They're talking through it.
Man.
If only Dave got if I knew to play around the Cataclysm, maybe I could have played a different line. Evil's just all smiles.
Oh man, both these players are like, oh, this is some good Magic. I mean, I think the only Magic that I have seen. Wait a second. There might be something else happening here.
What do you mean?
I'm just checking to make sure this is a draw or not. We're gonna have to confirm whether or not this is a draw. It's possible that there's a little word that we have from a little bird that maybe Dave conceded, but I think it's gonna be registered as a draw.
Okay. My guess is they're just talking through the game. I mean, it's day 1 at this level of the tournament. Yeah. We'll go ahead and bring you back to the booth here and keep you guys updated on that game if something changes here.
Yeah, that was some exciting Magic. When I watch Magic, that's the kind of Magic I want to see. Comes down to the